Bruh. Bruh.
Woo-wee. What's going down? It's your boy. It's Z Rex in the house. It's what is it? October 15th? Damn, Halloween's coming up soon, boys and girls. Z's and Zers. Hope y'all having a great Freitag. Can't believe it's already Friday. It's crazy, man. Time just keeps going faster and faster and faster. Anyway, do you have ETF FOMO? Do you? Maybe. That's kind of what I'm seeing today. That's what it seems like to me. It's kind of funny. Everybody's all up in the ass about this Bitcoin ETF saying it's approved. It's not approved. It is not approved yet. Stop spreading. Is it reverse FUD? What's the, I guess FOMO, I guess you could just call it. I just don't get. I will say this before I say anything about price action, which still looks pretty good to be all fair, but like everybody's just, oh, it's approved. And that's like, wait, what? No, it's not. There's nothing anywhere that says that it's getting approved. It says that it's about to have its date next week for one, just for the pro shares, just for one. Not even the futures. It's not even the futures one, which everybody's like, oh, it's futures. It's getting past this time. But it's not. Pro shares is off spot price. So that's the first false narrative. And then the second is that it's already approved. It's not approved. I mean, this is really weird that every time the ETF comes around, everybody's just like, oh my God, it's amazing. We got to take down the banks with Bitcoin. Oh man, we need this ETF for Bitcoin. Who cares about ETFs? What do we even need an ETF for? Why? I don't even understand why that's such a hyped moment. I guess it's approval by our daddy banksters or something. I guess. I don't know. It sours me if you can't tell. I think it's stupid. I think it's silly. It's not approved. Not yet. Will it get approved? I don't know. Maybe. The 18th we'll know, which is what, Tuesday or Monday? Yeah, we'll know next week if the pro shares one is approved. But, that's just one of them. The other ones are like, what do you call it? Well, I don't know, because this stupid website won't load up. Oh yeah, I have to pay for that. Okay. Whatever, dudes. They're trying to make me pay to see their article. Anyway. Yeah, so it's the 18th. So there you go. That one's going up for next week. Maybe that one, I might have misspoke on the futures one, that it was based on it or not. I can't remember. I was just so stupid that everybody's just immediately jumping on it saying, oh, yep, it's approved, it's done. But it's not. It's freaking not. Just Google it yourself. Go look. Anyway, enough of that stupid rant. Who cares? Let's look at price action, because that's what really matters. Because if we look at this, it was already bullish and looked good before any of that stupid news like 3 days ago, just because it's happening next week. No one was talking about that. Anyway, who cares about news? That's why news is stupid. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we've already been pretty bullish once we got back and been holding 54,000. That's the same. That's still intact. It could probably be ratcheted up a little bit now to like 56-ish, but still, I mean, 54 is still pretty damn good. So, I mean, there's no doubt that this looks pretty sexy, especially if we close up here on spot. That will be actually a higher closing price against the previous all-time high. So that's pretty damn good. You can't get too... That's not something to sleep on. Now, there is a little bit of a disagreement with futures. We're not quite at the highs, because this is right here. You can see this close is just shy, a little C hair shy of 62,000. And we actually, wait, hold up. Is that where we are right now? The high was 65,520. And we actually are sitting on this, literally the closing price of this candle right here. We're literally on it to the T at 61,980. So if we could close above that number, that would be pretty cool. Otherwise, it's kind of just an even high. Now, that's good. Bulls have done work. I'm not trying to take away from the bulls, but it is just kind of like a little bit different than spot versus futures. And usually we like to see confluence with those. Anyway, above 55,000 looks pretty damn good. Let's get rid of this trend line, even though we're kind of on the underbelly of it still. We've been riding the underside of it. Kind of a little different move there for bitty bits. All right, so 458, zooming in a little bit. Kind of just reset on the bull posturing here late last night. And got some continuation out of this, a little kind of upward price action, which has so far led to some new local highs, not all-time highs, but looking pretty damn good. There isn't really well, I guess there's one kind of concerning thing is you kind of have this like lower highs on the oscillators, so a little bit of bearish divergence through here. That is on a low time frame, so it's not that important. And don't really have enough data to claim that on the daily yet. So, but anyway, horizontals, I mean, it's kind of easy on this, man. As long as it's just holding that 55,000 level, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Until we really start breaching that, then you got to start looking for the downside. I will say I'm a little bit concerned that everyone is like FOMOing about this ETF thing. So I don't like that. It just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. That's about it. All right. Ethereum looking okay still, getting over this box yesterday. So that's the first thing bulls really needed to do. Right where I drew it to. I drew it here on purpose because I knew 100% that it was going to break out right here based off of the stars and the moon cycles and tea tree leaves. So I definitely 110% knew that that was going to happen. That's why I stopped drawing the box here. And so now we're just getting continuation, right? It looks pretty good. I mean, above 37 hundos, we're fine. We're in the clear on 3700s. Now, there is one thing that is a bit concerning on Ethereum, and it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of a deal, is that we're not getting momentum on the daily DMI yet. We're not crossed into the power zone. It almost is. It's starting to look pretty good, but we're not quite there. And the same with RSI too. We're right at the threshold here. And yes, I'll use a little bit lower than 70. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's one data point, so we don't want to like hang our hat on one stupid little data point. But it's just kind of noteworthy. And with that and the FOMO of this ETF thing, and it's not that it's because it's just the ETF or FOMO or I hate ETFs. It's just that it's a straight lie. It's just not approved yet. And everyone is running their mouth. Like, dude, go on Google and just type Bitcoin, BTC, on YouTube or something. And it's like every video is like, it's approved. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, I'll get off that rant. Need to move on here. All right. Ethereum looks good above 37. We get back below 37. We probably can look for like upper 35s. Probably get a little good bounce there. Then we'll have to reassess. But right now, above 37 hundies, 37 tendies. It looks pretty damn good. Looky. We got this trend line right here we're coming right to. So there might be a little bit of selling pressure coming up on Ethereum. You know, maybe it's got a little bit more legs to tap up close to 4K or something like that. But, you know, this is definitely a little bit concerning on this trend line that's here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, but other than that, the futures actually look, you know, pretty good outside of that. Again, kind of showing the same area, a little bit lower and in the mid 3500s instead of the upper 3500s, but close is close enough. But not too shabby for Ethereum futures. Kind of agreeing more so with spot than Bitcoin is. All right, right at the top of the range. Nice job, Litecoin, pamping it up, getting a little Pampy McPampson. No momentum on the DMI, but all the EMAs look pretty good, except for the 200, which is right where we stopped at the top of the box. So, it's going to take bulls a little bit of, this is going to be the real test of the bulls, is if we can close and open and close above like 190 for 2-3 days, then I would actually start looking for 200 and beyond, possibly even past this 235 little hump right here. So, but right at the top of this range, great trade if you were in this playing the ranges, buying the bottom range top. So here we're at the top, so now we need a little bit of confirmation that this is going to have continuation. XRP looking okay, still just going super stupid sideways. Yeah, I mean it still looks okay. It still looks fine. As long as it's holding, nothing's changed about this one from the last couple videos about 105, 107. As long as it's kind of holding that level, it's okay. And then any daily open and close above like 116 probably does get us up to this 130-ish level. XLM looking very nice. I actually really like this setup here. It's got everything I like to see, the oscillators, the EMAs. The worst part about it, there is one thing that kind of sucks, is that the 200 is right above it. I wish this structure was above the 200, and that would give me a super bull boner. But right now, you got to just kind of, take what you can get, and I think that this is pretty damn good for the bulls on XLM. What would change my mind on this? If we start going pretty much anywhere below about 33 and a half, I would start to question the bulls' strength here. ETC kind of putting in a little doji here. This one's real sloppy. I feel like it should have got some love already and pumped. You can see here this engulfing daily, and we've really struggled to even get past halfback. I mean, we did today for just a blip, got rejected, and so not really the best picture here for Ethereum Classic. But, they're trying. As long as it's holding above 52, 53, it's okay. Really want to see one of these dailies take out 55.70. Oh, DOT is not looking super sexy. Had a nice pumped out of the box. Came back, tested its bottom here a couple of times, or the top of the box. But about 39 handles. As long as we're holding 39 Daras, 39 tendies, we good to go on that one. And the upper target on that is about 50 bucks. ADA is just super squeezing here. Kind of symmetrical triangle on these lows. If you can't kind of see that, what I'm looking at. Oh, God, that is really well drawn. Here, let me just use this straight line. Something like this. Got a little symmetrical triangle. The bottom of this formation, it's pretty much 50-50 which way that's going to go. And we are sitting right on major support here at 2-ish bucks. And we are making higher lows there. So that's kind of cool. We just really need to take out this 230-ish area on a daily, kind of same as what we were talking about the other day. And then we can probably look for like 250, something like that. Right in the middle of the range on Link. Just whatever, don't care. Oh, EOS. Yeah, this is kind of sloppy too. I don't like this engulfing candle right here. As long as this is below like 470s, I'm not really excited about it. But then I'm like pretty neutral on this. I'm not really bearish until we get back below 420, but also not really bullish until we get back above 480. Okay, look at Bitcoin Cash having a nice pamp today. All right, so I do like how this chart's starting to build. This one actually does look pretty good. It does have the stupid 200 above it like a lot of the other ones, so probably some temporary stalling at 670-ish if we get some more pampage on this. And as long as it's holding that, again, same as yesterday or the other day, about upper 500s, it's okay, about 550 even. It's okay. I would expect some resistance here, but this is starting to build into a pretty decent chart. BSV, I actually really like this. I might scoop some BSV here. I like how it's just slow drifted, kind of like a flag formation into the EMA structure. Again, like all the other one, not all of them, but a lot of the other coins, we have the major long-term EMAs right above it. So that's the only part that looks kind of bad, and as you can see, is providing some pressure to price action right now. Oh, goodness. Let's see. But other than that, I like how this thing is kind of creeping on here. This is actually a pretty interesting chart on BSV. XMR, kind of doing the same thing. As long as it's holding about 250, 255, it's okay. But, man, come on, bulls. I mean, they're really showing this trend line is mucho respectado. And it's just for 2 weeks now, just banging right underneath it. So let's see if we can break that. A lot of times when you get so many touches like this, you will end up breaching it. So any breach on this, I'd be looking for a pretty swift move, probably to $300 at least. ZEC, terrible. This chart sucks. Unless it gets back above 130, really, it just sucks. Don't even care about it. Oh, this one it's kind of terrible too. Super squeezing. All the EMAs are within, $50 or whatever. Very neutral everything. I mean, there's nothing really to do with this chart until it gets out of the range. And that range would be probably about 200 to about 170, and it's just kind of meh. Doge. Is Doge going to do something? Oh, looks like it did do something here today in the overnight or something. Let's zoom in, crack time frames, see where that happened. It looked like it was late last night. We pumped right up to 24. Look at that. To the frickin' T, which is our pivot point right now, is 24 cents, not bones. Micro bones. So until it really gets a daily, I'd like to really see the daily close above 24 cents. And again, we have a rejection from there. But you can see it's also rejecting downside pressure too. I mean, we've got higher tails. We've got real even or higher bodies. So, I mean, it's interesting. It's super, super squeeze mode. Can't really get also very bearish unless we close a daily below 22. So Doge is kind of an easy read right now. Sub 22 on a daily close probably is going to go lower. And a daily close above 24 pennies is probably going to go higher. Oh, Richard, what's going on? How come this is going down? Why? So as we talked about this on the previous videos, this is the heaviest that Hex has looked in a while, and we are getting follow through with that now. We kind of had this little descending triangle type formation on the latter half of this with the lower highs. Never forget that price action does pretty much trump everything else. So if you start getting, especially on a daily time frame for most assets, you start changing structure on the daily, you need to start paying attention to that because that is very, very important. And here we are now, just kind of breaking down. Not too sexy here at all. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty brutal. I would say if it closes below this today, I mean, it does have 6 hours left, so plenty of time for all kinds of shenanigans. But if it does close below like 35 pennies, I would start to look as this as kind of confirming a breakdown. And then especially if we get a couple more open and closes below here, that adds to that probability that we will start breaking down further. And as we discussed before, this thing has a lot of room to fall. I mean, we probably could go to like upper 20s to mid-teens on this fairly easily. And that's a big, that's 50%, from here roughly on the low end. So I would say that this is starting to look bad on the horizontal, just below 37 pennies roughly. And ultimately, too, this trend line, it's 37 on a horizontal, and then this trend line, as time goes on, obviously, that's going to just provide pressure itself. All right, ES, just incredible Pumpy McPumpson. Pretty sexy move here. Everything is awesome. We are at the mama camel hump, though, so I am expecting some resistance here. I don't think we're just going to punch through this. Plus, it's already after lunchtime. This is probably the extent of this move, if I had to guess. We'll probably stall out here. It is OPEX today, which is option expirations day. Every third Friday of the month. But, I mean, if we close up here like this, it is pretty damn nice. There's no matter how you feel about it, this is pretty damn sexy closing above the last couple of months. So let's see if the Bulls can keep that up. They still got a few hours to make that happen. So, but not too shabby, man. And like, so when we talk about this all the time on the show, when you see, you know, nice patterns, whatever forming, you got the momentum, everything's good, dips are getting bought, it's all good, right? Momentum's strong. But then when you start getting this wishy-washy stuff, and then the EMAs get spaghettied out, whenever we see a candle cut through most of the EMAs in one go, like this one here, you usually get continuation. Probably like, I don't have an exact stat on that, but it's probably like 70-80% of the time you're going to get continuation on the price action in that direction, whichever way it's cutting. And that also works for the downside too. You can kind of see right here, this one opened right at the top of the 21, cut all of them, and we got some downside pressure there as well. And this is something we talk about like all the time on the show, so if you've been watching, you're probably familiar. If not, keep an eye out for stuff like that. And I'm talking the major moving averages, you know, a 10, 9, 20, 21, 50, 55, and I'm saying like 50 daily, 55 EMA. Those are kind of the real common ones for the shorter term. But yeah, when you get one candle cut all them out, it's generally something to pay attention to. Oh, excuse me. NQ is not over its VWAP. It's not even close to the mama camel hump. Will it have to play catch up? Clearly it will, but will it play catch up is the question here. Maybe. I don't know. Nobody knows. Oh, excuse me. But I will say that it is nice that NASDAQ came back into the 15K handle. So as long as it's holding 15,000, you know, we don't want to overthink it too much. Sub 15,000, we got to look at this as a little failed trendline breakout. But right now, it's all right. Dow, which is looking a little bit better off of this level here, coming to retest on the trend line, right? Tricks everybody like it's a false breakdown. Hammer candle, right on major support, right on top of this. And then we just beast mode through all the EMAs on one go. And then we get continuation. There's another example. And not only did we get this nice candle closed all over the EMAs, but it also closed all over the bodies too, looking left on the closing basis. So pretty nice on that. Let's see how the weekly looks. And yeah, these weeklies are, we didn't look at the weekly NASDAQ. Hold on. So NASDAQ still looks weak relative to ES and the Dow. We're already above all the EMAs on the ES and the Dow, and maybe the Russell. Let's just look real quick. And the Russell, yeah, but the Russell has this trendline resistance we'll get to here in a second. But yeah, so is this a resistance spot? Yes, definitely. Camel hump right here. All these bodies, kind of a lot of business here. A little previous support zone. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback coming up through here, but right now it does look very strong. There's no doubt about it. Russell. For numbers, let's kind of use this base right here. You can see it about 34.8-ish. As long as we're above like 34.8-ish, I mean, this actually is starting to flip around and look pretty good. All right, so here is the rut dog. And you can see we came right up to this trend line. One more again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7, 8. So 6 to 9 touches or whatever, depending how exactly you want to measure it. And we are getting rejected from it already, which is kind of interesting. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, we have put in a 3-hour doji as well after some vol flashes. This is interesting. So a lot of times when you get vol flashes with continuation, it's the fake out before it dumps. So this is actually an interesting setup right against major horizontal and trendline resistance. I would be very cautious on Russell here. Let's zoom in. Crack time frames. Let's get crazy. Let's get dirty. Yeah, you can see opening up, but we don't. This is another good example. It doesn't really matter the time frames. It's just more about the structures for the example purposes. But when we get all the EMAs opening down like this, we usually love that for bears. But what sucks is whenever you have the 200 right beneath it. Those aren't as sexy. And we see that all the time across different tradables. So just kind of giving an example of that. When you see the momentum starting to shift, but then you have a long-term EMA or SMA that has a different slope, opposite slope. So this one's sloping up, these are sloping down. You do have to be a little bit cautious of those. And let's go to the weekly on this. Yeah, so weekly looks okay, but look, it's still a lower high in the structure. We're not over the camel hump. We're right at trendline cross resistance. Like, there's definitely a lot of resistance right here, that's for sure. So, have to kind of see what happens there. VIX getting absolutely mollywopped. It's all the way back down to the trend line. And what happens usually right here around the trend line? It usually pops hard. Yeah, so I don't know if that's in the structure is kind of broken a little bit. It was making higher highs, higher lows, kind of curling up. And now it just totally got demolished the last few days. VVIX is still holding on. Very different chart. I don't know what kind of pattern this is. The head and shoulders crown TP pattern. Kind of interesting, but it's still above 100, so it's still in the kind of cautious watch out for random dumps. Coming right back up to 8250, a horizontal, very nice. Bulls are so strong in energy right now. It is pretty impressive. This weekly is probably going to close up here. I mean, this is just up until it's not, really. There's not much to say on it. It's just curling up, rally, breaks, rally, breaks. I mean, riding the EMAs. I mean, it's not even coming to pretty much the 10 simple barely. So, I mean, this is bullish as hell until it starts at least making flat, even daily highs, or starts making lower highs, or just breaks this trend line. I mean, we just don't have anything bearish on it yet. Looking very good. Nat gas, see, like, this is where we can start thinking if oil starts doing this and starts chopping sideways and lets the EMAs start going sideways and sloppy, then maybe we can talk about oil having a little bit of a slowdown, because then you have this lower highs, lower lows, and the very intermediate structure. So that's what we're kind of looking for, something like that. Nice that nat gas gave us a good example right afterwards. And nat gas looks like it kind of has topped. You've got this weekly shooting star, doji behind it, and then today it looks like we're about to get follow through. Although it's not very strong follow through, but it technically is. After this, closing lower than this doji. It's not very definitive, but it's slightly there. Bonds bouncing hard off this low, kind of just coming right to the EMAs. Is it going to put in some kind of little basing pattern right here? Possibly, but we'll have to wait till next week. Tune in next week to find out. TNX rallying hard, but just still in the stupid little, kind of range. It's just going to been clustered up here in the 150s. Nothing really new there. Dixie kind of engulfing earlier, not getting no momentum, so there might be a little bit of pressure on the Dixie. And the weekly looks it's very indecisive too at this level. I mean, not too crazy, or it's not too surprising. You got the trend lines, long-term trend lines right here. And then if you also go back and look at this horizontal, lots of business split. Like almost all these bodies are pretty much right there. This little dip and super rally is also right there too. So a little bit of resistance, overhead resistance. Above 95 bucks, though. This thing probably runs another couple dollars fairly easily. We'll see if we get that. Obviously, same shit on Euro, just inverted. DAX rallying pretty good the last couple of days. Holding on by the thread. Here's another example of that. EMA is open and it starts to look really bearish and the momentum is going, but then you got the rising long-term 200 right below it, and what does price do? Chops on it for a little while, rallies up. And a lot of times you will just get rallies to the 55 or the mama, which the mama is this purple one here. And but ultimately it is still just lower highs, lower lows. But it is fierce. And you got to be careful in bear markets. The the bulls are the most relentless in bear markets. I think all the records for up days and single days are made in bear markets, like most of them are. But anyway. All right, Shanghai just chopping, nothing new there, just kind of boring. Gold getting dippity doodad, getting a little flopped on. Not too shabby. I took off all my gold stuff yesterday because it was coming up to the 10 or the 200. The mama on the daily. I think it even has weekly something. Yeah, it was weekly mama was up there too yesterday, and even 2-day mama, which is my favorite kind of time frame. For gold and the mama specifically, was all right there. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to peel all that off and reload on some bounces possibly. Is this a bounce to reload on? I'm thinking about it. I do have an order working right now for GDX. I don't think it's filled yet. No, it is not. So I'm kind of just waiting on that. We'll see what happens. And I do kind of want to buy this, though, before the weekend, because I do like that it's stalling right here. And if we go to crack time frame, or medium crack, this is mid-grade crack, we got right here on the mama, the 200. I mean, this looks fairly decent. The only bad thing is that the bears have kind of regained a little bit of a dominance. But, I mean, this is only one data point. We'll see how long they can hold on. If we get anything back below, like this cluster, pretty much 1750 handle, I would start to really question, and this is probably just a fake breakout. I am surprised gold isn't moving more, because it's a fairly decent inflation hedge. And their mom's been talking about inflation, and gold has not been talking about it for, 3 months or something? It just doesn't give a shit. It's just going sideways and making even lows. Oh, a higher low, then a little bit lower. I mean, it's literally all over the place. Very, very tough thing to trade, unless you just can lock yourself into kind of range trading mode. But anyway, let's go to super crack time frames, the strong stuff, some Ricky Ross style. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to hold on here. I don't see any signs of reversal yet on the Ricky Ross time frames, though. So we kind of have to just wait for that. Yeah, on this, I still got that order working. They're not filling me easily, so that's generally a good sign when that happens. So I do kind of like that. I'm going to ratchet down the pennies, a couple pennies, see what happens there. All right. Moving on. Silver, what are you doing? Silver right up to the mama. Not too terrible. Showing a little bit more ability to defend the bears on the bull side than gold. So I do like that. Silver has been kind of looking a little bit better. Like we talked about it in the last couple videos, how silver is making this pretty nice basing pattern right here, and that as long as it was holding like 2220-ish, it was looking like it was going to rally. So I do like that. That's a pretty nice move. How these people be BSing on Craigslist, Facebook, all that good stuff. So annoying. Whatever. I digress. So back to the topic at hand. If we if we ratchet that up above to about 23-ish, 22.90, somewhere around there, give or take 20 cents, I think that's going to be kind of our new floor. Platinum, very nice, coming right to this trend line though, so it probably is going to have some pressure. Let's zoom in a little bit to the medium crack. Still looks pretty fine. I don't have any issues with this. Very nice. What would be really extra nice is if this 200 could cross back up over the 377. That would be super sexy. And then I'd start looking for some pretty strong rallies in palladium, probably up to like 11 hundos. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Man, lovely. Love this week. Love the follow through. This is actually shaping up to be a pretty decent chart. Probably buyable on dips now, which is kind of what I've been contemplating here as per my gold analysis a few seconds ago. All right, palladium, though, coming right to this box of despair and death. It's coming up to it, rejected twice. Now, it's still kind of just chilling above the daily 21, so that's good. And we still are making higher highs, higher lows on the 3 hours, so that's also good. Anything back below like 2020, Then I'd start to question this a little bit, even 2050-ish, but definitely 2020, then I'd start to question this. GDX, what you doing? Chilling. Look at it, chilling. Why is this green? Why is this candle green? And it's down. What's going on with that? Why is that? What's happening? I don't understand why it's doing that. It's a little glitchy. A little glitch today. It's a green negative day. You know how those happen. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure what's going on with that. I have a little delayed. Even if it was delayed, it would opens up here. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, who cares? Bouncing right back off this horizontal above the mama, above the 55. So that is pretty sexy. 3 hour looks very good. Kind of hovering here. It does kind of look like it wants to make a stab to like 34-ish. So this is actually what I'm trying to long right now is GDX. Let's see what GDXJ is. I did buy some Hecla Mining, a little speculative stock. This one's just sitting right on the lows here. You just got earnings out of the way, which were trash, but didn't look like the market cared. And so we have this split, which lots of business chopped around for a while. We're right on top of it, so I just took a little small stab here on that one. Very tiny position. The bigger one I'm looking forward to get filled is this GDX one. Still not filled yet. World markets looking good. Look at this. Yesterday they said, oh, we're about to party. Let's go. Even though it's really sloppy, it's technically making higher highs and higher lows the whole time. So pretty funky little chart. We can do something like this. It's almost like a rising wedge, though, now that I'm drawing this out. And that's kind of interesting. Can we put a channel on that? Does a channel work? Let's see. No, it doesn't. Yep, so that's definitely rising wedge type stuff there. Interesting. Well, anyway, kind of following through. I mean, it looks good. Nothing really big issues. The rising wedge thing might be a little bit of a problem at some point. All right, I think that's it. Let's go look at some. God dang, it's already 40 minutes. I swear I can just... It's too long, man. Grubhub taking off on that low. Very nice. GME not really getting no love. Cost giving it all up after this whatever exit scam pump here. Neo's pumping a little bit. Tesla's still continuing. It's about to lose its vol thing. So that's 5 vol flashes in a row. Actually 4, I'm sorry. 4 daily, so almost every day this week. So there's a very, very large move in Tesla looming here. Airbnb dead flat. DoorDash up a little bit. Let's go to the meme stocks because we were looking at those earlier. BlackBerry getting some nice love off of this. I'm thinking about taking all that off because, like, right where we are, 200, Mama, 55, right at the lower previous high, which could be a lower high. So I'm kind of debating if I want to take that off. AMC's pumping pretty good here. Not too shabby. Nice AMC. All right. I think that's about it. Let's just wrap it up. Bitcoin, what you doing? Same shit as earlier. I mean, as long as it's above this horizontal at about 56,000, it looks pretty damn good. Just the FOMO thing of the ETF, it's not approved. It is not approved. We don't know that until next week, so I don't like that part. I don't like everyone super excited. It's 80K, 100K, 200K the end of this year because we're getting an ETF. I mean, we don't have it yet, and so it does still look good, and that's just my opinion, right? And I'm not trading that. I try to only trade technical analysis. Now, does that happen all the time? Absolutely not. Of course, emotions get in there, and that's why trading is a difficult thing. You can trade great for years, man, and be an awesome trader, but it only takes you to get tilted and get off your game, you know, like a month or something, or weeks even, and you can lose it all, man. So trading is very different like that than most businesses because it can happen just so fast. Anyway, This looks fine above the 56K. We lose 56, we probably go to 54. And that's kind of the line in the sand right now. That's the TA. That's the way to be looking at it and trading it. Yes, the FOMO thing could be real. It hasn't come to fruition yet. We don't know if that's going to just be a little trap pump for overhype that isn't true yet. It's like reverse FUD, which I guess is FOMO. I don't know, but whatever. 56, fine. Then probably 54. That's the range, 54 to 56. As long as we're above that, you know, we're on track for Pumpy McPumpson. Let's see. Ethereum, same thing as earlier. It's pretty easy right now, 37 hundo. As long as we're about 37 hundo, there's nothing too crazy. And, you know, you could possibly argue that this is some giant inverted head and shoulders, right? So if we did something like that, let's just play for super bull-tardness. If we did that, we're looking at a possible 5,600, which I actually already have a horizontal drawn. I don't know if it's from that or from fib extensions or what exactly that's from. Looks like it might be from that measured move. Because if we do fib extensions, how I would usually do them, like this, yeah, it's a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and put those fib extensions on here, actually, just in case. Let's get crazy. 10K. Why not? And you're like, why aren't you putting them on exactly? Because who cares, dude? What, 10K? Do you think $300 matters when you're up that high? No, it doesn't. All right. So there we go. We got some marks for our super hopium. And as long as this is holding again 37, it's cool. Lose 37, probably go to upper 35s, maybe mid 35s. But as long as we're kind of holding that as of now, it does look pretty damn good. The worst thing about it is the weekly on Ethereum isn't as sexy. And the futures on Bitcoin are making even highs from the 12th of April area. So... although, wait, it looks like they're trying to take it out right now. Oh, they are. Look at that. Way to go, Bitcoin bulls. Get it in. All right. All right. All right. But anyway, that's about it. I think I'm going to sign off now. Much love. Peace. I'm going to go wrap up some trading, finish some stuff, and until next time. Probably won't have that many videos this weekend. I'm getting my kid back finally. He's been on a vacation with his mom for a week, so I haven't seen him, so... probably not going to be sitting at the computer and be spending time with him. But if I can squeeze one in during a nap or something, I will. If not, we'll see y'all next week. Have an awesome, wonderful weekend. Much love. Peace.